Hi guys, welcome to ANIMEized. This is the English translated version of the novel Throne of Seal. The novel differs slightly from the Chinese animation or donghua. If you want more of these videos, please smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Enjoy and have a blessed day.
Although, so far, he had only felt its effects in terms of assistance, he had a vague sense that this was due to his cultivation not being high enough, and he hadn't fully unlocked the abilities of the Eternal Melody. However, even so, the effects of the Eternal Melody were still formidable. With this powerful equipment, the light elements around Long HaoChen's body remained 3 times denser than usual at all times. What was even more remarkable was that the Eternal Melody would directly refine these light elements. This makes Long HaoChen's cultivation progress at twice the speed, plus the amplification from the light elemental elf, Yayan. He can be certain that his cultivation speed is at least 5 times faster than an ordinary knight's. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to increase his spiritual power from over 3,700 to 4,000 in just a little over a month, and repeatedly attempt to break through the 6th rank bottleneck. Equipment hasn't been purchased yet, as it's not needed at the moment. Improving their cultivation is currently more important. After several challenging battles, the cultivation of everyone in Commander level number 21 Demon Hunting Squad has improved. Among them, Cai Er, after taking the Holy Spirit Pill, her inner spiritual power has already increased to over 3,700. In just a few more months at most, she'll be able to break through the bottleneck like Long HaoChen, even the weakest. Cai Er, with the enhancement of the Holy Spirit Pill, now has around 3,200 inner spiritual power. The benefits of merits have fully shown themselves for the first time. Being able to afford 7 Holy Spirit Pills is a rarity for a newly formed demon hunting squad like theirs. Of course, there is another squad, the incredibly successful Soldier level number 4 Demon Hunting Squad. They are also in closed-door cultivation, and 2 months after Long HaoChen's group ordered the Holy Spirit Pills, they ordered 6 as well. Meanwhile, they are no longer Soldier level number 4, but Commander level number 22 Demon Hunting Squad. Originally at the 4th rank, several of them increased their strength significantly through the Cave of Fearful Wailing mission, breaking through to the 5th rank while in closed-door cultivation. They then took Holy Spirit Pills to continue their closed-door cultivation. This caused Commander level number 22 Demon Hunting Squad's strength to increase significantly as well. In terms of enhancement, they are no less than Long HaoChen's group. In the blink of an eye, 3 months have passed. The members of Commander level number 21 Demon Hunting Squad, who were in closed-door cultivation, have emerged one by one, and their spiritual power has reached entirely new levels. After 3 months of closed-door cultivation, Cai Er's inner spiritual power has increased to 3,850. Han Yu has reached 3,670. Sima Xian, with her innate inner spiritual power of 80, has had a significant increase, reaching 3,500. Wang Yuanyuan is slightly higher than Sima Xian, with 3,560. Lin Xin has reached 3,660. Cai Er has also reached 3,320. All members of the team have now reached the 5th rank, level 7 or higher. However, 3 months later, Long HaoChen still couldn't break through the 6th rank, still hovering at the peak of the 5th rank. This is not because he didn't try hard, but because in these 3 months, his energy had been scattered. Whenever Long HaoChen entered a state of cultivation, the memories he received in the Tower of Eternity would naturally surface in his mind. Astonishingly, they compelled him to comprehend things he didn't want to comprehend. If he didn't, he couldn't concentrate on his training. Of course, Long HaoChen was unwilling to learn dark magic. So in the first month of seclusion, he was almost entirely struggling with his own memories. In the end, he gave in, because if he didn't comprehend this dark magic, he couldn't practice at all, let alone break through the bottleneck. Breaking through the bottleneck required complete concentration, but with these memories disrupting him, how could he focus his mind? Helplessly, Long HaoChen had to reluctantly accept reality. Fortunately, the memories pushed by the Tower of Eternity weren't too forceful. As long as he comprehended a skill or some mysteries, these memories would stop appearing for a while. It seemed they wanted him to integrate what he learned. Long HaoChen never imagined that his memories would one day become a stern teacher. But what could he do? He couldn't resist, he could only accept it. In the 2nd month, he could patiently attempt to break through the bottleneck. But indeed, the difficulty of advancing from the 5th rank to the 6th rank was astonishing. Inside the Holy Guiding Spirit Furnace, it felt like his spiritual sea had already taken shape, but it was always missing something. Long HaoChen could only continuously accumulate and attempt to break through. Accumulate and break through again. But he still couldn't successfully break through this bottleneck. By the 3rd month, his spiritual sea had still not fully formed, but Long HaoChen's Holy Guiding Spirit Furnace seemed to be evolving. This caused a period of chaos within him. But in the end, the Holy Guiding Spirit Furnace was just one step away from evolving. Clearly, he needed to break through to the 6th rank to complete it. It can be said that these months have been quite a struggle for Long HaoChen, but it wasn't without benefits. His cultivation speed had indeed increased significantly, but because of that, his foundation wasn't as stable as it should be. After 3 months of seclusion, his spiritual power had completely stabilized, and it had become even more profound. His various abilities had also been adjusted. It's not that his cultivation couldn't continue beyond the bottleneck, but if he didn't break through the bottleneck, the spiritual power he gained would naturally dissipate. However, this wasn't the case for Long HaoChen. He couldn't absorb it himself, but it didn't mean that the light elemental elf and his blue rain, light lotus inside him couldn't absorb it. So, these 3 months were also beneficial for them. However, it was clear that these two needed more time to evolve once again. While Long HaoChen was cultivating, Hao Yu entered into a deep slumber. It had consumed quite a few magic crystals, which it had been controlling and not digesting earlier. Now that it had time to rest, it naturally had time to advance. However, it was at this moment that their seclusion had to come to an end. The Demon Hunting Squad's mission tower received an urgent message, a compulsory wartime mission. All demon hunting squads remaining in the Holy City were ordered to participate. Those who refused to participate would have 10,000 merits deducted from each member as punishment. Higher-ranking demon hunting squads would have more merits deducted. Such urgent wartime missions were rare, and they were only issued by the mission tower in times of great crisis for the Alliance. However, they came with strong enforcement. The cost of refusing to participate was quite significant. Although Long HaoChen's team had enough fines to cover it, it would mean deducting 60,000 merits. While Han Yu, the Squire Knight, was exempt from this, the rest of them didn't want to bear this burden. After discussing it with their companions, Long HaoChen went to the mission tower to accept the mission, and the mission tower granted all demon hunting squads 3 days of rest. However, the specific details and nature of the mission were not disclosed. All 7 members of Commander Level Number 21 Demon Hunting Squad gathered in the mansion's hall. Shima Xian grinned and said, "A wartime mission is great. My cultivation has just improved significantly. It's the perfect opportunity to take revenge on those demon brats." As he spoke, he flexed his muscles. Long HaoChen said, "Everyone's here, so let's set out. Lin Xin, what's our current total merit count?" Lin Xin didn't need to check, he immediately replied. "We still have 264,823 merits. I sold some of the useless magic crystals and demon corpses we brought back last time, so we gained some more merits." Long HaoChen nodded and said, "Good, let's go to the trading center. We're about to embark on an urgent wartime mission, and it's likely to be even more dangerous than the Cave of Fearful Wailing mission. So, don't worry about saving money. We only need to keep 100,000 merits for upgrading the Demon Hunting Squad's rank. The rest of the more than 160,000 merits, let's try to spend it all today. When we get to the trading center, everyone should look for the equipment they need, limited to brilliant grade and higher. And if you find something you like, report it to Lin Xin immediately. You don't need to inform me, just make the purchase. Lin Xin, you're in charge of overseeing this. Make sure that everyone can at least obtain 1 brilliant grade piece of equipment. We can't be frugal at a time like this. You should buy something for yourself as well. Do you understand?" "Yes, Captain." All 5 of them, except for Cai Er, responded loudly. Who wouldn't want to buy powerful equipment? 160,000 merits, even if it's brilliant grade equipment, would be enough to buy over a dozen excellent pieces. That's the advantage of having merits. After accepting the mission, Long HaoChen immediately decided that buying equipment was the right choice. They clearly weren't the only demon hunting squad in need of equipment. Other teams would also seek to strengthen themselves before the upcoming mission. Getting there earlier could help them find equipment that suited them better. As they walked toward the trading center, Long HaoChen asked Lin Xin, "How's the situation with our potion reserves?" Lin Xin chuckled and said, "They are very abundant. We have 42 Great Revival pills, and 25 Bloodthirst pills and Blast Spirit pills each. We also have the 2 potions I created first. One is the Strength pill, and the other one is quite special. It's a conjoined spiritual enhancement pill made primarily from greater demon crystals. The conjoined spiritual enhancement pill can instantly connect the spiritual powers of the users, and during the process of mutual spiritual power infusion, it rapidly transforms into the attribute of the one releasing the spiritual power. It's similar to the conjoined attacks used by greater demon knights. However, its duration is only 30 seconds. Also, it consumes a lot of materials. So I've only created 2 sets of 7 pills each. It can allow us to respond flexibly twice. With our current strength, when all 7 of us combine our powers, our spiritual power exceeds 20,000. We can even compete with 8th-ranked powerhouses." Long HaoChen asked with curiosity. "But what if the person who ultimately releases the spiritual power can't handle the massive influx of spiritual power?" Lin Xin proudly replied. "I've already thought about that. It's a problem even the demon race couldn't solve, but I can solve it with potions. It involves a combination of potions. The person responsible for releasing the spiritual power, while taking the conjoined spiritual enhancement pill, also needs to take a strength pill, significantly increasing their physical strength. This will naturally enhance their ability to withstand the influx of spiritual power. Moreover, my conjoined spiritual enhancement pill doesn't pool all our spiritual powers into one person. The person in charge of releasing the skill can decide how much to accept based on their physical condition. For example, with your abilities, after taking my strength pill, your ability to withstand should be at least over 10,000 spiritual power. I might have exaggerated when I said we could take on 8th-ranked powerhouses, but competing with 7th-ranked ones shouldn't be an issue. Seeing his smug expression, Long HaoChen couldn't help but laugh. It seems your self-confidence is justified. Although I don't like to praise you, I have to admit, you truly are a genius. Ha ha ha, of course. As expected, after receiving praise, some people became even more conceited. Lin Xin teased. Brother medicinal pills, mind your appearance, here comes Lin Xin. Huh? Where is she? Where is she? Lin Xin instantly restrained himself, and the arrogance he displayed earlier quickly turned into a meek and obedient demeanor. He glanced around sneakily, searching for Lin Xin's figure. Speaking of which, Lin Xin and Lin Xin's relationship was stabilized over the past few months, though they hadn't spent much time together due to their respective closed-door cultivation. However, this had also led to a certain condition for Lin Xin: extreme compliance with his wife. It seemed that Lin Xin had become meek and obedient, because of the after-effects of being forcefully kissed by Lin Xin. Regardless, this acknowledgement led to Lin Xin becoming extremely submissive, under Lin Xin's control. When he saw Lin Xin, he acted like a mouse meeting a cat. And he wondered if this was due to the aftermath of Lin Xin's kiss. What was certain was that Lin Xin truly cared for Lin Xin. He would secretly give Lin Xin many potions. However, Lin Xin didn't want to take advantage of him, and would always pay the corresponding merits for them. You dare to deceive me, Baldy, watch out, next time I'll make you eat fake medicine. Lin Xin couldn't find Lin Xin, and yelled angrily at Lin Xin. Lin Xin chuckled and said, As you wish. But you know, I've heard Lin Xin say she hates people who don't consider the bigger picture. She loves individuals like our captain, who are kind-hearted, morally upright, and benevolent. Lin Xin snorted twice. Doesn't that mean it's me? Lin Xin replied. But have you ever heard, there's a saying that goes public opinion can be more valuable than gold, and a good reputation can be more fragile than glass. If you feed me fake medicine, well, I might just have to have a serious talk with Lin Xin. With that charming look of yours, who knows if I might invent a few of your ex-girlfriends, and Lin Xin might believe me, right? Okay, you win. I give up. Lin Xin turned his head away, looking frustrated and upset. He no longer paid attention to Lin Xin. The other members watched him in amusement, and couldn't help but chuckle. Speaking of which, Captain, after Lu Shi heard that I could make conjoined spiritual enhancement pills, he expressed interest in buying a set. He offered 1,000 merits, and he'll provide the materials herself. What do you think? Should I agree or not? Long HaoChen responded. How long does it take for you to make these pills? Lin Xin replied. About 10 days. When we travel from Holy City to the front lines, we'll likely be taking a carriage. That should be enough time. However, I can't guarantee success. Long HaoChen nodded and said, Let's give it a try. On the battlefield, individual strength is negligible. Having one more familiar team to watch over each other obviously increases the survival capabilities of both teams. Furthermore, Lu Shi's team has made significant progress during these 3 months of closed-door cultivation. Their strength has improved considerably, although they still can't compare to Long HaoChen's team, considering that Long HaoChen's team has yet to reach the 6th rank, so the actual gap between the two teams has narrowed somewhat. Of course, this is assuming that Long HaoChen's team hasn't purchased equipment yet. While they were conversing, they had already arrived at the trading center. Upon entering, the 7 of them went straight to the 2nd floor. Although the 1st floor had some brilliant level equipment, there was too little of it. However, on the 2nd floor, at least more than half of the items for sale were of the brilliant level. It's just that the total number of equipment items for sale on the 2nd floor is much less than on the 1st floor. With the commander level badges, the 7 of them passed through the guards on the 2nd floor. In order to save time, the 7 of them split up immediately, each looking for equipment that suited them. Each of them needed different equipment to replenish. Among them, Cai Er needed the least equipment replenishment. After all, she had her own summoned beast, McDull, and her main abilities were embodied in McDull. There wasn't much she could do to enhance her pet. Her only option was to increase her own spiritual power. Therefore, the equipment she was looking for was something that could enhance her spiritual power, stabilize her mental strength, and preferably have defensive capabilities, in the form of accessories. On the other hand, the ones who needed to replenish their equipment the most were Wang Yuan and Lin Xin. Lin Xin played the role of a warrior in the team, but he was still wearing a priest's robe. Wang Yuan had never worn armor before, her only real equipment being the shield of Giant God. Relatively speaking, Han Yu and Lin Xin didn't have very high equipment requirements, so they would choose whatever suited them, and it didn't matter if they didn't find anything suitable. Lin Xin's fire cloud crystal had already been modified by a specialized alchemist turning it into a brilliant level peak fire attribute mage weapon. He used to be the wealthiest among them, and his robe was of the spirit demon level. Separating from their companions, Long HaoChen embraced Cai Er and started browsing on the second floor. The trading center is divided into 2 parts on each floor. Items directly owned by the trading center itself, and items sold by the demon hunters. Long HaoChen first looked at the items being sold by the trading center, intending to choose a close-fitting armor for Cai Er. Cai Er's weapon didn't need replacement at all, as her dark gold dagger with armor-piercing ability was already a brilliant level equipment. Her left hand could use the reincarnation sword at any time, so there was room for discussion about whether to enhance her weapon. However, defense had always been Cai Er's weak point. As he approached the counter, a trading center staff member greeted him respectfully, saying, "Hello, may I help you?" Long HaoChen thought for a moment and said, "I'd like to purchase a brilliant level armor for an assassin, and accessories suitable for an assassin." The staff member nodded and said, "Please wait a moment." With that, he turned and walked into the back room, and after a while, he returned holding a thick, large book. "Respected demon hunter, I've just checked, and there are a total of 4 suits of armor on this floor that meet your requirements, and 3 accessories. Please make your selection." While speaking, he opened the thick book and turned to a specific page. The page provided detailed descriptions of armor and accessories. Long HaoChen held Cai Er's hand, and while reading the descriptions, he wrote them out in the palm of her hand. Each of the 4 suits of armor had its own unique characteristics, with different focuses. The first one primarily boosted spiritual power, but it was suitable for assassins with a fire attribute. It was embedded with fire attribute gems. Cai Er had a very unique attribute, not a typical elemental attribute. To be precise, it should be described as a slaughter attribute, or even a death attribute. This was due to the influence of the reincarnation sword. Obviously, armor with this elemental attribute wouldn't suit her. Among the other 3 suits of armor, 1 more had a similar issue, and it was immediately eliminated from consideration. Among the remaining 2, 1 enhanced defense, allowing the wearer to release a protective spiritual power close to their body, with a defense comparable to that of an elemental shield. It also had a skill called Sturdy, which protected vital areas of the chest, abdomen, and back, capable of withstanding 3 attacks from a 6th-rank expert without damage. The other one leaned more towards enhancing the assassin's offensive capabilities, with a powerful gathering of spiritual power effect. Even though it only had this one enhancement, it was still considered a brilliant level equipment, which indicated the formidable power of its spiritual gathering effect. It could increase the assassin's attack power by at least 20 to 30%. After explaining the functions of the 2 pieces of equipment to Cai Er, the 2 of them had different opinions, with Long HaoChen naturally favoring the armor with good defense, while Cai Er preferred the one with the spiritual gathering effect. Since Cai Er couldn't hear or speak, their communication was achieved by continuously writing on the palm of her hand. While they were debating, a gentle voice suddenly came from behind them. "Excuse me, is this Captain Long HaoChen?" Long HaoChen instinctively turned around, and behind him, he saw another young man, though this young man appeared to be much older than him, perhaps around 27 or 28 years old. The young man had a tall and imposing stature, towering over Long HaoChen by almost a head. Even though Long HaoChen hadn't fully grown yet, his height was already close to 1.8 meters, which meant that the young man's height was approaching that of Shima Xian. However, he didn't exude the same robust aura as Shima Xian. He had broad shoulders and a straight posture, and carried a gentle and refined demeanor. Standing together with Long HaoChen, it's somewhat difficult to describe his handsome appearance, but he can definitely be described as honest and sincere, with a slightly round face and gentle eyes, giving off an impression of honesty and sincerity. "Hello, who are you?" Long HaoChen asked with some confusion in a sincere tone. "I am the captain of the Commander Level Number 8 Demon Hunting Squad. My name is Zhang FangFang." "Hello to both of you. Long HaoChen, can I have a few words with you?" Upon hearing the words, "Commander Level Number 8," Long HaoChen instinctively furrowed his brows. It's been 3 months already. Could it be that this person is here to cause trouble? But it's not surprising. After all, it's 100,000 merits. Anyone would be uneasy in this situation. "So you are Commander Zhang. Hello, I am Long HaoChen. Please go ahead." Although Long HaoChen had some thoughts in his mind, his attitude was polite, regardless of any past grievances between them. After all, they were all members of the Demon Hunting Squad. Zhang FangFang said, "I came today to apologize to Captain Long. Would you please come with me?" He called out the last sentence behind him. In that moment, his honest face showed a touch of sternness. Reluctantly, the 2 of them came in front of Zhang FangFang, and upon seeing Long HaoChen, their expressions were indeed unpleasant. "Aren't you Commander Level Number 8 Demon Hunting Squads Lao Wu and Lao Lu?" Zhang FangFang signaled to them with his eyes, and then the 2 of them bowed slightly to Long HaoChen. Lao Wu smiled bitterly and said, "I'm sorry, Captain Long, we shouldn't have deceived you. We were wrong, and we promise not to let such a thing happen again in the future. Please forgive us." Long HaoChen shook his head and said, "The matter is in the past now. Besides, it was you who suffered losses, so there's no need for you to apologize. Zhang FangFang said. No, we must apologize. I actually wanted to visit Captain Long earlier, but I saw the closed sign at your villa's entrance, so I had to wait until now. Regarding the merits they lost, they deserved it. But it's also my fault for not managing them properly. As the commander, I bear full responsibility. I apologize to Captain Long once again. As he spoke, he also bowed to Long HaoChen, and his bow was more sincere than that of Lao Wu and Lao Lu, bowing at nearly a 90-degree angle. This attitude immediately made Long HaoChen's impression of Commander Level 8 Demon Hunting Squad change. Long HaoChen's impression of Commander Level 8 Demon Hunting Squad changed considerably. Quickly, he reached out to support Zhang FangFang and said, Commander Zhang, please don't do this. The matter is already in the past. Zhang FangFang straightened up, sighed, and said, I don't mind if Captain Long laughs at me, but our demon hunting squad is probably one of the unluckiest in the history of demon hunting squads. Initially, shortly after forming our squad, we fell victim to deception by a senior demon hunting squad, just like what happened to them. We lost a very important 5,000 merits in that incident, and at that time, our squad was almost on the verge of collapsing. Later, we managed to get back on track with great difficulty, but then this incident happened again. To be honest, there have been several times when I considered giving up my position as the commander. However, as time passed with my comrades, we developed a bond. It's not so easy to just give up. As the saying goes, do not do unto others what you wouldn't want done to yourself. I've already admonished them. Long HaoChen suddenly understood they had also been deceived, even though he had a negative impression of Lao Wu and Lao Lu. Commander Zhang, on the other hand, made a positive impression on him. If it were him, perhaps he would have returned the merits they had won, but now he was also a commander of a demon hunting squad, and he had to consider the interests and opinions of his comrades, so he couldn't say such words. Zhang FangFang wasn't a person who dwelled on things. Seeing Long HaoChen's hesitance, he quickly said, Although this incident caused a conflict between our two demon hunting squads, it's not entirely a bad thing. After all, it allowed me to meet a young talent like Captain Long, didn't it? The war mission is about to begin. We're both commander-level demon hunting squads, and we might be assigned the same missions. At that time, I hope Captain Long can let go of any grudges, and we can watch over each other and assist one another, working together to combat the demons. Long HaoChen chuckled and nodded. That's for sure. The demons are our common enemy. Zhang FangFang nodded again at Long HaoChen, and then he left with his two companions. Watching their departing figures, Long HaoChen contemplated for a moment. His spiritual strength was different from others, and he had a keen sense of observing people's feelings. He could sense that Captain Zhang was not pretending, but genuinely apologizing. This person was not ordinary. He had a broad heart. However, 5 years had passed, and he was still at the commander level. It seemed that his luck wasn't great. If there was anything that could help him during this upcoming mission, it would be good to watch over and assist each other. Boss, why should we apologize? Even if we were in the wrong, that guy won 100,000 merits from us, and we've only just repaid our debt. Lao Wu expressed his dissatisfaction to Zhang FangFang. Zhang FangFang's face darkened as he said, Lao Wu, you're still stubborn. What can I say about you too? 100,000 merits, earned through the hard work of our brothers. That Captain Long is not ordinary. Remember, all previous grievances must be forgotten. We are about to embark on a war mission. Although urgent war missions are very dangerous, they also come with great opportunities. Lao Wu wanted to argue further, but he was stopped by Lao Lu. The boss is right. That Captain Long is exceptional. Judging by his appearance, he's probably not even 20 years old, yet he defeated you head-on, and you gave it your all. He won fairly. This is an absolute difference in strength. I think he's at least at the pinnacle of the 5th rank, even if he hasn't reached the 6th rank. With the presence of the light elemental elf, his strength is top-notch among the demon hunters of his generation. A knight like that, given enough time to grow, will definitely make rapid progress. Zhang FangFang sighed and said, If you had been more cautious earlier, and at least inquired about his background, you wouldn't have lost so miserably. I took the initiative to inquire about this Captain Long's background.